What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? I hope you guys are all fine, well, and dandy. Welcome to Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. So means we're talking all sports, but only Houston. And apologize for the wait. Sorry for the wait, like a Lil Wayne mixtape. But we're going to get this bitch booted up. And we're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony this evening. And let me introduce to tonight's guest. Who we got in the mix with us this evening?
You got your boy breaking news, Bray.
You got your boy Wise giving you the wisest news on Twitter.
You got White Persuasion up in here.
Already. Shout out to White Persuasion. Has provided the sauce with so many lovely backgrounds. Matter of fact, the background that I am currently using is provided courtesy of White Persuasion. So, but before we dive in it, y'all know how we do it, man. You guys are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the entire world. So we're going to get this party started by getting the roll call going. And if you're not familiar with the Sauce Nation roll call, man, if you are from the city of Houston, man, shout out your side with pride. If you're not from the city, then you got to let me know where I can send a little bit of that digital computer love in your direction. You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, let's get this party starting again. The sauce line is open for text all show long, and then later on in the show we will open it up for, the calls also. So all that good stuff. So let's see who we got in the mix, man, and let's show a little bit of love, and let's get this party started here. I don't want the top. I want the live chat. Don't need that live shit. Let's see. We got V selling KS 857. Heidi, OKC 2.0, stop. Zachariah, what's the motherfucking deal? Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? Voodoo, what's the Voodoo Child? Actually, wait, my bad. Miss Voodoo Child first. I accidentally overlooked the original wrench, and then Voodoo Child. Miss Voodoo Child hold it down before Voodoo do. You know how that goes. He be running late, eating snacks and shit. Indigo Chief, what's the motherfucking deal? That's a new name. Rigo, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Lucas Gomez, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. Darren motherfucking Davis, what's the motherfucking deal? Titans up, always good to see you. Slayton 26, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's roll. Let's see. Main account 713 Northside already. Redding, California already. Buenos Aires. Fair winds, fair weather, fair Baron. Heidi Kleindienst. What's the motherfucking deal? Bay Area, California already. Beast Mode Engage. What's the motherfucking deal? Northside Lufkin representing Ferocious Film. Good to see you. Guru 936 representing already. Let's see what's shaking. Make sure we're catching everybody, man. Let's man, I don't want to miss nobody. I don't want nobody to feel left out. We're a Sauce Nation family over here. We don't want anybody to feel. Rigo representing the Dirty Bay already. Man, holler at me after the stream, Wink, because you be international. I'll be knowing where to get at you. Dominic, good to see you, man, as always. So let's get into some things. We're gonna talk a little bit of flavor around the city, man. Like I gotta excuse me, I've been like in and out, and when I be changing elements, you know how it goes. I was actually cool and chilling, then I forgot something, so I had to run and go get it, and then going out in the heat, and then getting back the thing, I started profusely sweating. But y'all will be all right. I'm dripping sauce. That's all it is. So, man,
nigga just say he dripping sauce because of the heat.
Yes, I am dripping sauce. I'm a natural sauce dripper.
Only Honcho would say that shit. I'm dripping natural sauce because of the heat.
You motherfucking right. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be Honcho if Honcho ain't say that, man. But like I say, shout out to the Rockets round. We're gonna talk some Rockets today. We're gonna talk plenty of Rockets. I know a lot of people are feeling a lot of different type of ways. And so how we'll handle this, we'll answer the questions in order so we keep everything neat and orderly and copacetic. Somebody got a little bit of extra background going. If y'all could turn that down for me, I appreciate it. So we're going to start off with Braylon. We'll go Persuasion, and we'll go Wise, and we'll go in that order. And then on the next question, we'll kind of come back. But we're gonna spill a little flavor on what's going down, what's shaking, and that is Carmelo Anthony and the high probability that he ends up being a Houston Rocket. And I know that some people are happy about it. I know some people that are not too keen on it. And I'm going to talk about why I feel like it makes sense. Now, I'm not saying it's the best possible move that the Rockets could have made overall. I'm not saying it's the worst move that the Rockets could have made. But I feel like if he does choose Houston over Miami or the Lakers, then this would be the ideal landing spot. primarily I only heard that he met with Houston and Miami, but the media somehow, some way, always finds a way to throw some California shit up in there. You know how that goes. So it is what it is. Let's talk about some things, and I want to know how y'all feel. And initially, like I say, we'll start off with Bray. How do you feel, or how would you feel, if Carmelo Anthony agrees to a deal with the Rockets for the MLE?
I feel like it'll, take some pressure off of Daryl Morey after this offseason that we are having so far, which seems horrendous to some standpoints and parts. But I know that this is the start of something that he got going on in his mind. Because from what I've heard, Jonathan Fegan, beat writer for the Rockets from Houston Chronicle, said that they presented an option to where Carmelo Anthony can come off the bench and help the bench production when CP3 comes back in for his second time on the court. Now, if you don't realize, CP3 comes off the court at around 7 minutes. It comes back on the court with like 3 or 4 minutes left. It's something like that in the first quarter. So then Carmelo will come off the bench with CP3 once he gets his first rest after the initial, chip and all that. But I feel like he got something going, because if Melo is our primary option off the bench, then something has to be happening. I'm just saying.
Okay. Mr. Senior Persuasion, how do you feel about a Carmelo Anthony, a hoodie Melo, in a Rockets uni?
I think this will really unlock, I guess, everyone was saying Team USA hoodie, or not hoodie Melo, but Team USA Melo, because if you think about it, just the way the OKC offense moves just doesn't work, and I don't even really know how their offense works. But he fits so perfectly into the Rockets with the ISO ball. He can pull up for a three. He can just, if he gets past the ball, he'll quickly release a three. And he's a good 3-point shooter. I think he even had a better 3-point percentage this season than he did the season before. But yeah, and going off what was said before, I think it would work really great. Just start him in the starting lineup and then take him out when you take Chris Paul out. Because that way you have a lineup of James Harden running point, Eric Gordon at shooting guard, and then Capella, and then you can bring in the second unit with having Chris Paul and Carmelo Anthony. I think that will work really well.
Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Wise, how do you feel? What do you feel is the deal with Melo? Does he end up in a Houston uni, and how do you feel if he does?
So, according to me and Brayberry's sources, we've been knowing Carmelo was a lot to Houston for a while. It's been destined since last offseason. We know Melo wanted to really come play for Houston. He was forced to go to OKC. Actually, I don't see why people are mad that Melo's coming to Houston. He can come and average 17 to 20 points off the bench. He can play another role as Eric Gordon. I know that we're making another power play move. Daryl Morey said yesterday that you can expect the signing trade to happen, or we can pick up somebody else. So it has been rumored that we're going after James Ennis, which is a defensive player. However, I do think the Rockets got a power play for Jimmy Butler coming in. And I can see Carmelo coming in and playing that 4 position or that 5, and we can play a lineup with CP3, James Harden at the 2. James Harden at the 2, PJ Tucker, Carmelo at the 4, and then you have my boy Clint Capella at the 5. That can go against the Warriors any day. So adding Melo would only help us out. They say his defense is bad, but he can actually play some post defense, and that's why I'm saying he would be perfect fit for the 4.
Awesome. Now, exactly. H-Town Finest, you spoke on the point exactly that I was going to get into. Melo coming off the bench. Do you guys seriously believe, though, that he's going to be willing to do that? Because, there were rumors in OKC that that's not the move that he wanted to make, that he wanted to stay a starter And there was a little bit of a tiff of that because there was a lot of people saying that he should have came off the bench in OKC and would have been a better fit. Let's start with Wise, and then we'll work our way back to Braylon. So starting off with Wise, do you really see Carmelo, adjusting his whole career? He's been a starter. He's been the man. And I mentioned before, that I don't think he's a guy that he never seemed like a bandwagon jumper to me. He seemed like a guy who's always wanted to kind of do his own thing, be a leader in his own right. Do you see him really being willing to push his pride down and come off the bench for the Rockets?
I totally believe so, because his only options right now is between the Rockets and the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat is giving him a starting position at power forward, and the Rockets already said D'Antoni made a pitch of having him coming off the bench. So therefore, if he knew that he wouldn't come off the bench, he wouldn't have even had that meeting with the Rockets. And he knows that Houston has the opportunity to go and win a championship, and winning his first championship with his best friend is like an opportunity that you can never pass up. So I believe he just has to swallow his pride, and he's seen what happened last season. But no telling with the Rockets. The Rockets, we always pick up guys, and we usually put them in starting positions, and then they don't work out, and then we put them in the bench. But maybe if he start off on the bench and he balls out, then maybe he might earn a starting position halfway through the season. So who knows?
Okay, interesting. Persuasion, your thoughts on that? Do you see Carmelo swallowing his pride and want to being willing to come off the bench with no fuss?
Yeah, I can definitely see it. But my only question is like, who starts instead of him? Is it like a lineup of Chris Paul, James Harden, Tucker, Anderson, and Capella, or what?
That's kind of what I'm curious about too. And I think Anderson is the worst. And that's kind of my thing, and that's kind of where I'm kind of going with this. Is like you look and you see a guy like Anderson who was completely ass last year, and you're saying, well, how's this guy starting in front of me? How's this guy starting over me? And unless they make, like you said, I know y'all said some possible power plays. I don't see how, he is willingly able to come off the bench there. So
I really I don't think that they should start.
Hold on.
Hey, hold on.
You got some breaking news here?
Yeah, we do got some news. And Rockets offered to Clint Capella on July 1st years $85 million.
Mm-hmm.
Two individuals with knowledge of the offer said, with incentives, the deal could be worth up to $90 million. Mm-hmm. Rockets remain optimistic. Sides the deal will be reached. Absolutely, one of the individuals said.
Okay.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying. When you have your local sources, and then a national media saying this morning we only offered his $60 million, which was fake news, and this report comes out and said we gave him $85 to $90 million with incentives. Come on now.
Okay. What I've heard is he was looking at the Steven Adams comparison, and he was kind of wanting Steven Adams money, but I think Steven Adams is a different type of presence as opposed to
He's
Capella.
making 580s, like 5 years, for 80 something. But then he'll be making more than Steven Adams.
Okay. But let's go back to that and what we were saying though about him coming off the bench, about who would be the guy that would see playing time ahead of Carmelo. We were on my persuasion. So what would you see? What would you honestly see the starting lineup being?
Well, first off, I don't think in any case you should start Ryan Anderson, because if you do, that is horrible for team morale. Like, he did not earn that position at all, and even played worse in the playoffs. So he doesn't deserve the position. So I'm almost I know the conversations about Melo on the bench, but at least with our lineup right now, I have really no other person I see starting over him, unless it's Zochi, which I highly doubt.
Man, the Zochi. We're gonna talk about some Zochi before the stream is over. No, I'm just now realizing it. I'm sorry about that. Let me get I got the questions out there. Let me get everything in order. We were about
and on my 2K simulation, I just finished it. So basically what I did is I added Carmelo to the current roster without making any additional moves. And then I bumped some players like PJ Tucker because he had a not too great. Like he was ranked lower than Ryan Anderson, so I bumped him up a little bit, and then I bumped up some like other players like LeBron just to try and make it a little bit more even. And with just Carmelo inserted, the Rockets went. Oh, also, though, it's like 2K, so it's not accurate at all. But the Rockets went 63-19, and they made it to the finals against the Pacers and 4-0'd them. So.
Okay, so that would be amazing.
Oladipo ball. Okay. All right, Braylon. So your opinion. I mean, do you seriously? I mean, who would you see starting ahead of Carmelo? I mean, what would you mean? I know we've been talking about him coming off the bench, but I mean, ideally, this man does have an ego. He has been balling in the league for quite some time. I mean, who do you really see, unless the Rockets, I mean, go out there and make a reach, and I don't believe it would be Sochi. Who would start at the 4 ahead of Melo?
Can I say, two situations?
All right,
Just ask.
Yeah. Go for
Okay. The first one is the player on the team already. He's been balling out in the summer league. He's been doing well, great in the paint. And he hasn't even shown his shot, his perimeter shot yet in the summer league, but he can hit a perimeter shot. His name is Isaiah Hardenstein, a 20-year-old kid, German American. They said if he had stayed in Germany and played one more year there, that he would be a top 5 pick this past draft instead of last year when he was picked up in the second round by the Rockets. Kid's a hustler. He's physical. He's able to play in the paint because he's 7 foot and he has the weight already. He's about 260 right now. So he has the weight to play power forward and center if he needs to right now. That's the first option. Now, the second option is a little bit out there. So Wise brought up the sign and trade situation that we can do. So that comes back to, Melo being on the bench and all that. So then Melo could turn out to be a 6-man if we needed to. Meaning Eric Gordon could and for surely possibly be on his way out the door. So you come up with a package of Ryan Anderson, Eric Gordon, a couple of picks, and you can probably sweeten it up and give them the draft rights to Sergio Llull. And you can go and get a player like Jabari Parker. High potential, he can shoot, he can play the post, and he can defend. He's a long defender too. He kind of gives you what Ariza gave you, height and lengthwise. And then he also has the potential to still be an all-star caliber player. Granted, the injuries have slowed him down a bit, but he is still like 23, 24. I'm going to check up on that. But, yeah, that's another name.
Okay. Very interesting. Now, I think most of y'all know I'm a big proponent of the Hardenstein kid. I like what he has to bring to the table. I think he has a nice skill set. I think I like what I saw from him last year. I definitely agree with you. If he'd stuck around, there'd have been a lot more suitors. Talking about a couple of draft moves, we're going to come back to talking about some things with the Rockets themselves. Been watching a little bit of Summer League. I'm sure you guys have kept your eyes on some of the things that are going on in the Summer League. Melton, the big knock on him was he wasn't a great shooter. And I think that, again, it's Summer League competition, but these are professional NBA players. I think that knock has been eradicated because he looks like his shot is much better. Now, I've been very impressed with him. I've been very impressed with I'm actually surprised Ochi has looked pretty nice. Again, he's made some shots. He's out there catching alleys and looking like he out there playing NBA Street and shit. Biggest surprise so far in the Summer League. We're gonna start with Braylon, and we're gonna work our way back across to Wise. Who is the biggest? Who are you most impressed by in the Summer League so far?
Most impressed with is, of course, DeAnthony Melton. So the first game was a fluke. I'm saying it right now. The first game of Summer League for him was a fluke. He hasn't played a competitive physical game in over a year. College, professionally, nothing. He hasn't played any of that. So the first game he came out, he scored 4 points and whatnot. Looked a little bit shaky. Looked kind of out of basketball shape. Second game, he started kicking it in. He was 2 for 5 from 3. He scored 16 points and had some assists. The third game, last night, mans went off. He was pulling up confidently, didn't care, snatching back, crossing over, driving in, finishing, all of that stuff. He showed potential to be a top 10 player out of this draft. He could possibly do that if he puts in the time and the work, and he's developed right under CP3 and Mike D'Antoni. I'm gonna go and put another name in, RJ Hunter. He's improved. He's shown he's improved. He's shown he's improved finishing. Of course he was a shooter. That's why he was picked up. He was a shooter. We're showing that he can step up defensively, make some make key plays down when needed, offensively and defensively. And he'll Steph Curry you every now and then. He'll pull up in your face and say, "Fuck you."
You really had to make a reference to Curry. You had to make a Curry reference. You just had to do that.
Wardell.
All right. Persuasion. How are you
literally sorry to cut you off. I was gonna say I have literally the exact same two.
Okay. What's most impressive about those two to you?
Melton, yeah, he's just he's shown that he's very capable, and he's proving kind of all the things that were said about him wrong. And I think that was a good point to say that he hasn't really played in a year. So it's you can't even base off what you think you know about him because he hasn't really showed it. But now he's actually proven himself to be like a competent scorer and defensively pretty adequate. And then RJ Hunter, I kind of liked him during a regular season, but during the summer games or summer league games, it's there was can't remember when it was, but there was back-to-back possessions where he had 2 sweet passes, and one of them didn't go in, but the second one, it was a behind the back pass. That one was tight.
Yeah, RJ Hunter was actually a bit of a surprise for me because I didn't really expect a lot of him out of him last year, but he looks like Rising Phoenix, and he's out there hooping. So.
Damn, man.
Wise, your thoughts?
Defend himself.
Well, he'll be back around.
See, they took the two that I like, but I'm gonna go with 2 different players. I like Daniel House. The kid's been pretty impressive. I never heard of Daniel House until I seen the summer league, and this guy's been balling. This guy's been doing windmill dunks. This guy's been pulling up threes. This guy's a hustler. This guy been running the court, running in transition. He looked like a Rockets player. I mean, he's perfectly fit in the scheme. For somebody not to be talked about, that guy can come in here and maybe surprise and make a roster spot. I really like Melton. Melton was a baller as well. And then I really like Xochi. I mean, last year I wasn't seeing it from Xochi. I mean, he was a bench player. He never touched the court unless he was up by 30 points. But usually when you see a good Rockets players coming up, they dominate in the summer league and they dominate in for the Vipers. And what Xochi been doing is phenomenal for his size. He just pulling up like Curry, like my boy Breaking News Bray just said. He got a nice handles. He can dunk. He can play defense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Xochi actually come out and get some minutes this season as the number 2 center, because as we all know, Nene only can't play back-to-backs anymore, and Nene is getting old. So we need a prominent backup center. So I think Xochi might actually win that second spot this upcoming season.
Okay. Very interesting point. I see a couple of folks talking about Daniel House, and man, he's definitely been a pleasant surprise. Dunking on boys, motherfucking me, dropping folks, and doing all kind of other interesting things. Very interesting. And again, like I say, Joe T was impressive to me. I can say that he's been shooting very well. The shot looks like it's a little bit like he's developed a little bit quicker. So I ain't gonna talk as much shit about Slow Chi. I'm gonna leave that alone now. Shout out to Dewey Harris for the info.
My man draining them threes, man. He been draining them hoes.
No, man.
The same.
You got some Drano, a little bit of Drano.
In this game, and I'm okay. I'm say this. Joe Chi has things in his game that y'all has never been able to do. switch on the offense, switch on the point guard. He can do that, and of course he can pull up and hit that three consistently now.
Swisher Ryno.
Okay. But shout out to Dewey Harris, man. I didn't know that Daniel House was from the house, and the house is Houston. If y'all don't know,
yeah.
So
makes his name.
Okay. Like I said, I was not aware. And shout out to Voodoo Child for the love. He says that Steph Curry likes to touch little boys' wieners. I believe that is 100% facts. He looks like a basketball playing pedophile. I don't care what nobody. He looks like a pedophile. He looks like he gives little kids candy and tell them to come to the car, pull up in the van and shit. What's happening?
Let me give one more player some love too. I didn't throw out there. Trayvon Duval been looking nice out there too.
Oh yeah.
They were saying my boy can't shoot like they said Melton, but that guy, man, he got potential. He looked like Westbrook out there. Like if you just watch him and watch his film, he looks just like a mirror image of Russell Westbrook. The only thing is that he needed to develop his shot more consistently. But what I've been seeing in the summer league, he's been totally fine. And I think the Rockets should offer him like a 2 or 3 year contract and let him develop in the RGV Vipers.
Okay. Now, we talked about some good points. I want to talk a couple of negative things. I want to talk about a couple of losses that we've taken. I want to discuss the loss of Trevor Ariza a little bit and the loss of, more recently, one Luc Ariza. And I want to discuss the impact that their losses will have on this team defensively and what options we will have to kind of replace that. So we'll start with Wise and then we'll work our way back across to Breaking News Braylon. And like I said, I want to get your thoughts on that. So how do you feel, what can we do to replace the defense that we've lost from Luc and Ariza?
To replace it, we're going to have to sign James Ennis, a guy that the Rockets been looking at for a minimum contract. I actually thought it was kind of a stupid move for Muthaf to leave and go to the Clippers for $4 million a year. And when the Rockets, a report came out by the Rockets saying that they wanted him to take a smaller contract this season, and next season they was going to reward him. So if you really wanted to run it back, you could have stayed that contract, because he's only getting. You got to logically think about this. In LA, he's making $4 million, but you got to take 40% tax off of that. So he's making $2 million.
He's taking 3.4, so he's actually making like 1.5.
Yeah. So in essence, you could have just stayed in Houston for a couple $1,000s less. But I see what dudes want to do. However, we got PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker, it's all about that energy that PJ Tucker brings. I know we lost Ariza. I know we lost Muthaf, but Muthaf didn't really do nothing in the playoffs because his shoulder. And then we had Ariza. Ariza did all right. He was doing good, but KD still got like 40 points a game, or 30 points. He was still averaging 30 points in the Western Conference Finals. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who you switch into that position, because in essence, KD gonna get his points anyways. So at the end of the day, the Rockets going to have to outscore the Warriors, and we're going to have to play defensive plays in the fourth quarter. And I think PJ Tucker, then maybe a James Ennis is going to make a big deal, or if we bring in a Jimmy Butler.
Okay. I'm laughing. I see the Curry Goat and leprechaun-looking beard. I definitely agree with that. He does have a very suspect facial hair game going on there, but hey, it is what it is. Now, White Persuasion, man, you said something that I found to be pretty interesting. You had sent a tweet out last night. If you would share that with the people and then kind of put your opinions on what we can do about losing Luc and Ariza.
All right. First, which tweet?
The one you mentioned about the MLE.
MLE. Oh, are you saying like, gotcha. All right. So I'll just read off the tweet. My theory was Carmelo wants the full mid-level exception. When talking at the summer league with our team, he told them that he wanted the full mid-level exception, and them knowing that, they told Luc that all they could offer was the minimum. So he went to LA where they would pay him. So with that, I think, I don't know, I just don't see a way where we tell him, hey, we'll give you the minimum and then we'll pay you better next time. Because I don't know, just the thing with Chris Paul, where there was like the wink wink, like that deal. I feel like that might push people away from trying to make deals that aren't set in stone yet with the Rockets. So I feel like that kind of hurt us a little bit. But what I will say about losing those guys is I thought, like, I wasn't too worried about Ariza because I knew a healthy Luc would probably do just as fine because he can even shoot the three pretty well. But then whenever he lost Luc, then I started to freak out a little bit. So I don't really know what moves we can do, like still in free agency. I think Ennis will be like a decent pickup if we can get that to happen. But I do think that the best option would find a way to trade someone for something. I kind of like the Kent Bazemore, even though he's not like a lockdown defender. I kind of like that move if we like trade Anderson because they both have monster contracts, and then throw in a few first round picks because it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't line up for Bazemore to be on the Hawks at this point.
Exactly. That's perfect. That's a perfect scenario. Bazemore will be a great option. Bazemore makes a little bit less than Ryan Anderson, so we just flipping bad contracts for somebody that's actually useful, other than Ryan Anderson that sits on the bench, and the ball boys get more playing time than him.
Dang. Hold on. Dang.
The logistics of I'm talking. I cut the thing off. My fault. So let me repeat that. Chandler had said, "Shout out to the Rockets Roundtable." Said Honcho, Wise, Spitz, Darren, Breaking News, Bray is Chandler. So like I say, everybody was getting some love. And his question was that the Roundtable that there are reports out there on social media that the Rockets were willing to trade Ryno for Bazemore, but I think there are some interesting logistics in trying to get rid of the Ryno contract, and one of those things being that Ryno fucking sucks. So nobody wants that shit. So I mean that's the biggest issue at hand. If Ryno has been playing like ass, nobody is going to want to pick them. I mean, I'm sure anybody else making that much money has been decent. I mean, even around that price, I mean, it's been somewhat capable. Ryno has looked incompetent. Towards the end of the season, outside of the Timberwolves, I mean, it's ridiculous, honestly. Like, I mean, it's almost like you wish they had some NFL type situations going on when it comes to Ryno's contract. You could just cut a motherfucker and not have to deal with that. But that's the deal when you're in the NBA. You get the guaranteed money, and when you guarantee somebody who has been playing like guaranteed ass, you're going to have to still pay them. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is. I'm going to definitely say that was a bad contract by Moore. At first it looked good because we thought that, okay, Ryno, he was decent when he first got here. He was making buckets, and okay, the white Ryno isn't extinct. But now, I mean, hey, I want his contract to go the way. I don't want to say him. That would be cold-blooded. But I want his contract to go the way of the last existing white Ryno and go ahead and tap out and get out of here. Call it a wrap. The next topic I want to discuss, okay. There was a former relationship between one Mike D'Antoni and a Carmelo Anthony. What do you imagine that the conversation between those two was like? Because I don't think it was on the best note the last time that they were involved with one another. And I think we're on Braylon and working our way back. And what do you feel like the situation would be if Carmelo was to come here? Do you think that there would be any tensions with Mike D'Antoni, or do you think that he would fit in well with what they have going on?
Man, that beef was squashed a minute ago. I'm telling you. Okay. So Carmelo is at this point to where he knows that he needs a change in his career. So anything that has happened before this upcoming season, he's probably going to forget about it. Well, try to forget about it. And he's going to brush it off. He's going to be like, hey, it's nothing to worry about. We're cool, man. Everybody here is family now. And our goal right now is to try to win the championship. So, I mean, I don't have anything. There's nothing really to worry about with their relationship. It's just, will he listen to the coaches and do what the coaches say? I don't know.
All right, Mr. Persuasion, how do you feel about the Mike and Melo relationship? Will in the long term, will that be a problem in Houston, or do you think that all things have been squashed and it's smooth sailing from this point forward?
I honestly completely forgot about that, but what I will say, so last season, whenever the talks about Melo were heating up, I was like, that was my concern. It's like, what's going to happen? But after his experience in OKC, I think there's like little to worry about, especially with him not as the first option. Then D'Antoni can actually do what he's good at and have that point guard type offense, which Melo will fit into very, very well with his ISO ball.
Okay. And I saw someone text Joe Johnson over Melo. I don't know about that, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. This is the sauce. Everybody brings different flavors, so hey, we welcome all of that. That's funny. Wise, Mike and Melo, man, how do you feel that relationship plays out in a Rockets jersey as opposed to elsewhere?
I mean, if Lance Stevenson and LeBron can work it out, then I believe Melo can work it out in H-Town. I mean, he's been wanting to come to H-Town. He wanted to come last offseason, so I wouldn't see why it would be a problem this offseason, to be honest. He's been in contact. If you guys don't know, if you follow Carmelo on Instagram, my man was in Paris week with my boy James Harden and PJ Tucker, Uncle Tucker. Uncle PJ was giving him that sauce, like, hey, you got to come down to H-Town. We're about to get these buckets. We're about to win this chip next season. So
the
obviously,
Rockets
these
ain't
boys
beating
been in
my
contact
Lakers,
all
so this whole
They've been working
conversation
out.
is futile.
I'm pretty sure he wants to play for Mike D'Antoni because he's seen what Mike D'Antoni can do with James Harden at point guard. He's seen what he can do with Chris Paul and integrating him with the offense. So I'm pretty sure he already knows how he can integrate Carmelo into this offense. Carmelo can still run his ISO offense, and he still can be a primary scorer. I mean, we look at the touches. We let Gerald Green do what he want to do on offense, so why wouldn't we let Carmelo do what he want to do on offense? Oh, man.
I'm cutting my thing out so it don't catch the echo. My fault. Like I say, Jay Dizzle ain't no Lakers love because, you know what I'm saying, we gave y'all Lakers love yesterday. We let y'all have some breathing room when Hector was there. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna said the Rockets ain't beating my Lakers, so this whole conversation is futile. If there's a move to be made, the Texans need to find a way to trade for Earl Thomas. The Rockets are done. Worse than last year. No defense. D'Antoni something. What are the Lakers going? It's LeBron and a bunch of non-shooters. So I mean, what's shaking? You got to let me know. What are the Lakers going to do, Jay Dizzle? They ain't about to bust a move. They went backwards almost.
The Lakers can't beat OKC. The Lakers can't beat Utah. The Lakers can't beat the Nuggets. The Lakers damn sure can't beat the Rockets. They can't beat the Warriors, and they can't beat San Antonio. So they got a lot of work to do.
Damn.
And they all blasphemous. All these Lakers fans.
Yeah, y'all don't even want LeBron. Y'all had the motherfucking the mural put up of him. They didn't defaced it, put the graffiti all on it. Ain't been up for a day. People already putting yellow lipstick on him and shit. God damn, y'all can't. That's why we can't ever have nothing nice. But we ain't in LA, so damn that. Now I want to talk about one thing, and then we're going to open up the sauce lines, allow some calls to come in, so you guys can express your thoughts and opinions. Actually, a couple things I want to address, but let's kind of discuss, you know, the Albatross in the room, and that is Ryno's contract. I mean, what are all the legitimate options that we have to try to get rid of this overwhelming contract? We'll start with Wise, and then we'll work our way back. So we can talk trades. We can talk, you know, the nuclear option, which would be cutting him and still having to pay him. But if you're going to cut him and pay him, you're damn near getting the same. I mean, you're getting the same amount of effort out of him. You're getting the same production from him if you cut his ass. you know, and you're saving $9 million fucking dollars. But we'll start with Wise, and then we'll kind of work our way across the board. And I want to know what you guys think. What options do we have as far as dealing with the Ryno contract?
So just like White Persuasion was saying, he said that we can switch contracts with Atlanta Hawks and get Ken Bazemore and basically take on a lesser contract for a player that can actually come in, be productive in his system. Ken Bazemore is a 3-and-D player, a guy that we recruited last offseason. We was about to pay him $100 million, and I'm glad we didn't pay him $100 million because that would have been a terrible decision. However, he will fit good as a bench player on the Rockets, and that can be a replacement for Trevor Ariza, somebody that's younger, more athletic, somebody that can get out there and he's more consistent at the three. Also, it's teams like the Chicago Bulls who have cap space with $20 million left where we can trade Ryan Anderson along with a first-round pick and take back a player like Tony Snail or somebody. Well, they don't have Tony Snail anymore, but basically a bench player. And also, another possibility I was hearing was that no, it wasn't a possibility. What I've been hearing is that OKC is trying to trade Melo for another team to waive him and to ship out first-round picks to the other team. And I'm like, how can OKC trade a guy that's making $28 million, but we got Ryan Anderson that's only making $19.79 million, and we can't trade him with a first-round pick? So that makes no sense. Either the Rockets got a trade set up and planned, or we either keeping Ryan Anderson, and I hope we are not keeping Ryan Anderson.
Okay. That sounds like some very interesting options. Persuasion, what are your thoughts on getting rid of the Albatross, or as Voodoo Child says, the ocean monster from Jurassic World? Because that's a big-ass contract, and it's a problem.
Yeah, that was an interesting point that was just brought up, was like how they're trying to trade Melo's huge contract. But wasn't it the 76ers? They traded for Wilson Chandler. I don't even know why. They got his somewhat decently sized contract. So was it the Nuggets could get it off their books? I don't know how they pulled that off, but I think there is a team willing to trade for him, like the Bulls or the Magic, because they suck, and maybe even a swap for like the Hornets. I don't know if they would actually do that, but I think they have some players with like stupidly huge contracts. But I do think we'd have to give up multiple first-round picks, maybe even I wouldn't say 3, but we do have to give up a lot just to get rid of that contract. I think. And then the Bazemore one, if that could happen, that'd be cool. But I don't really see a lot of other options.
Okay. Breaking news, Braylon. Break some flavor on this subject. And let me
Damn, so I just got 1 grain of salt for y'all ass for this flavor real quick. Stretch and wave. I'm just saying, okay, you stretch and wave him, then you're able to keep your first round picks. You're able to keep Eric Gordon, and then you backdoor and you get $14 million in cap this year, so we can go out and try to sign some other pieces. Or maybe we can, give Capella the money he kind of wants. Maybe go from $90 million to $100. We don't know. Maybe you can go out there and get a Jamal Crawford and have a stupid ass bench for Eric Gordon. Okay. Well, hold on. Fuck. Okay, hold on. Damn. I done fucked it up. Just excuse my shit. But not Jamal Crawford. But then that'll make it easier for us to make a package to get a sign and trade dealing with Jabari Parker, or you can go out there and get a Marcus Smart. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, Marcus Smart. He's been high on my books.
Marcus, okay. No matter what you say about his offense, he can go and he can shoot a corner 3 every now and then. Now, if you give him the chance to consistently shoot it and maybe work on his game, get John Lucas with him or something, maybe the shot will improve. But we know he's a hell of a defender. And what do this team needs right now? Defenders. So, if you stretch and wave Ryno, a lot of options can happen. Just saying.
Okay.
Hold on, but I did hear that the Kings was about to offer my man Marcus Smart $100 million.
That was no truth. There was no truth.
Oh, it was no truth. Okay, I was about to say the Kings desperate.
Yeah, but that was like a good point you brought up, because I know there's some weird stuff going on with Jabari Parker and then Marcus Smart, like the Celtics just like didn't even talk to him. There's some weird shit going on. So if we could find a way to get one of those guys, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Now we're gonna open up the sauce line. All right, and we're gonna allow y'all to call in. I'm just putting a freeze on your account, real family. That's all I'm doing. Look, I'll give you your sauce back later. You be on some shenanigans. You be harassing it and fucking up my Instagram and shit with all your tomfoolery. So I gotta put a hold on your account. But again, like I said, the sauce line is open if y'all want to call in and share your thoughts. But while we're waiting on that, a couple other things I want to discuss. So we talked about Hardenstein. We talked about some of the younger guys. What about Vince Edwards? How has he been looking, if he's been looking like anything at all? We can start with
okay. Out of the pickups and the signings after the draft, he's the only player that looks like a second round pick. I'm just saying, he looks like the second round pick. Now he's improved. Maybe it's because he's getting used to the NBA 3-point line or something. But he's had a very underwhelming performance. But he will make this team because he was a draft pick.
Okay. Anything you see out of Mr. Edwards' senior persuasion?
I actually like him a lot, but I don't know how he fits on the team. Like, I don't think we have enough spaces for him. So I think he'll develop in the G League.
Okay. And what about you, Wise? How do you feel about Edwards?
Yeah, I think he's going to have to spend the season in RGV Vipers. I don't think he gets called up at all this season. At all. I think he can be another Terrence Jones, maybe. Possibly a Dantes Muntianes. That caliber player, yeah. If we develop him, but I don't think he gets a roster spot this season. He's good, but he ain't that good. We got better players to bring up.
Wise, I'm sorry to you, but no team ever don't a man on the roster because he's bad and they drafted him or traded for him. They gave him money. Mm-hmm. That money to Capella. I'm just saying.
But the Rockets do have a history track of keeping players in the G League all season.
Yeah,
rookies. So that's what I'm saying. If they do bring them up, it might be during the playoffs, but I don't see them bringing them up during the season unless somebody get injured.
Okay. And another guy I see a lot of folks asking about is Clark. Clark hasn't gotten much PT. What is the situation? He's injured? Okay.
Yeah, he got his ankle twisted.
Oh, okay. Got his ankles broke. Goddamn. Ain't
also, like last night, I don't think Hardenstein was suited up to play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he had a little ankle roll in the last game, but they say he'll play the next game.
Okay.
That's Warriors. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Mel, I'm sorry. You know you're a sorry summer league team when you double team people. I'm just saying I had to put that out there. You have to double team these boys, and they are in the summer league.
Yeah, that's no winner. Now I want to talk about a couple of things. Like I said, we'll talk here for a couple of more minutes. Now I want to look at some of Carmelo's career numbers compared to his numbers in OKC, and then I want to get y'all's opinion on some things. Now, for his career, he was about a 35% three-point shooter. Last year, he was at 36%, just slightly up. For his career, 81% from the free throw line. Last year, 76% from the free throw line, which was his worst in his entire career. Has averaged about 36 minutes a game throughout his entire career. Averaged about 32 minutes a game last year, and which was his lowest, and went from a 45% career average to about a 40% average, which is the field goal percentage, which is the worst of his career. So I want to know your thoughts on if this is a sign of Carmelo declining, or is it collateral damage from playing with Russell Westbrook? And we'll start with Braylon, and we'll work our way to Wise. And I'd like to know your thoughts on that situation.
The 3-point shot that went up 1%. I think it'll go up like 3 more percentage points because of how open he'll get, open looks, and then no matter what you say, his game will definitely change when he's playing with his best friend, CP3, and playing with arguably one of the best playmakers in the NBA too, in James Harden. So that's one plus that'll help his numbers. And then, okay, the free throw out, that one you can't say. Okay, free throws, you can't blame nobody else but yourself and your mechanics and your mindset and other than that. I think the only reason why his numbers were totally down, went from 22 all the way down to 16 in one season, it was because that Billy Donovan is a horrible ass coach. He's the most overrated coach in the NBA. I don't care what anybody tells you.
Ty Lue.
Ty Lue came in the first game, made some right decisions. But we gonna see about Ty Lue because this is his first year actually being able to coach and develop a team. But Billy Donovan had the chance to work with one star. This dude had the second best player in the league. Then he also had another great 3-and-D player, a 3-and-D All-Star. So Billy Donovan had opportunities to coach the team up and help them win, but ain't shit. Just saying.
Okay.
He is overrated.
Overrated. All right. So, Persuasion, how do you feel about those numbers? Do you see it's a sign of decline, or is it just a product of playing in OKC?
I think inevitably, as he gets older, he will decline, but I think it's not really entirely his fault. He's with a shitty, I honestly do not think Russell Westbrook is he might be a top 10 player, but I think he's so overrated. And sure, he can put up a lot of stats, but I don't think he makes anyone better. And then the coach, awful. But I do think I can explain at least somewhat his free throw percentage, because I think that one might be the same thing that, and we give a lot of shit to Ryno for it, but I think a lot of it is the fans themselves, because the more frustrated you get with the player, if you go to a game in Toyota Center and Ryan Anderson jacks up a shot and it just doesn't go in, and you're just like come on, dude, and he can feel that because people will actually boo and stuff like that. They'll be like come on, dude. I think that's kind of what happened to Carmelo as the season went on, and everything just together was not a good match.
Interesting. I see Chandler hit on the soft line. Says, I'm predicting that Daniel House will be on the Rockets lineup if he makes the team. Okay, it's a very interesting prediction. We're going to make sure I'm going to save that message. We're going to come back and see if he makes the team, what happens. Wise, Carmelo's decline in numbers versus his career, last year versus his career, is that a product of playing in OKC, or is it a product of Hoodie Melo was just a bunch of hype?
It's OKC's offense. Even my boy Kevin Durant struggled in OKC. So he's not my boy. That's Snake D. Let me reiterate that.
Whoa.
He on the same level as Boogie Cousins.
Oh,
they both some snakes out there. But anyways, every player that we see leave OKC, their numbers go up. Let's look at Victor Oladipo, the most improved player last season. He was only averaging 17 points with OKC. Westbrook wouldn't give my boy no good looks. Westbrook, they want to say, Mr. Triple-Double this, Mr. Triple-Double that, but he don't set up good looks. He's scoring first point guard, to be honest. So he's coming to an offense where the ball is consistently moving. It's touching CP3's hand. Teams, when you have Carmelo on the Rockets offense, you cannot double-team James Harden. You double-team James Harden, he kicking it out to Carmelo for a 3. You double-team CP3, he kicking it out to James Harden or CP3 for a 3. So with the Rockets offense, it's a more wide-open offense. It runs in transition. And just imagine if you run an offense with CP3, Eric Gordon at the 2, Harden at the 3, PJ Tucker at the 4, and Carmelo at the 5. You can run an offense with a small lineup like that because against the Warriors when they have that small lineup. So, I mean, just in essence, Carmelo's going to get more open looks. He's going to feel younger. He's not going to be required to play that many minutes. And then it's just OKC. It's just trash. Who cares about OKC, man?
Okay.
So we just had breaking news about Wise. CP3 gonna have the ball in his hands, dribble it, and pass it to CP3.
That's how good he is. Okay, you gotta understand now. He did it before. He did it this year with the little okey doke, the little yo-yo pass it all that shit. So it can be done.
That's why he did it to Zubac.
So here's the last question I'm gonna ask, and then we'll call it a wrap here. Honestly, we're talking about OKC's out there searching and reaching, trying to find somebody to take on Carmelo's contract. Now, is that because they think they're going to save a few bucks, or because they really don't want to let Melo go and end up in Houston and have to deal with that? We'll start with Wise. We'll work our way back to Braylon, and I want to know your thoughts on that one.
Wait, what's the question again? My bad.
Does OKC really want to let Melo go so they can recoup some of the money? Are they more willing to trade so they can recoup some of the money? Or are they trying to prevent Houston from picking up an asset?
So you're just saying why they want to trade Carmelo?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, they're just trying to cut out that luxury tax. OKC has no salary cap at all. They can't trade for nobody. They got 12 people on their roster. OKC is gonna run it back. They don't have no other options. They don't got no more salary cap. Stephen, whatever his name is, the caveman. He making $25 million a year. You got Paul George has got a max contract. Westbrook making the same money as Harden, basically. They just got bad contracts on their team. So by cutting Melo, they saving up $110 million, I believe, in the luxury tax. So I believe they're just trying to get rid of some of that money, and but they're gonna regret that at the end. What happened the last time they gave up a star player to the Rockets? We got James Harden, the MVP. So I think this could be a good situation for the Rockets in the end of the day. I don't know why people are freaking out about Melo coming to Houston. I'm telling you, Melo would average at least 17 to 20 points in this Houston offense. It's no way that man doesn't average 17 to 20 points.
Okay. Yeah, because he averaged 16 last year, so he should definitely see. He should see 17 to 20 points. I mean,
and imagine that with Eric Gordon, who's averaging 18 to 20 points a season off the bench.
Okay, interesting. Persuasion. What are your thoughts? Are the Thunder trying to prevent the ability from Melo getting to Houston, or are they just trying to save a couple of bucks?
I think they're just trying to save a couple of bucks, but if we can't trade Anderson, there's no way they're going to be able to trade the $28 million contract. Although, I'm not sure if this is even possible. I'm not even 100% sure on how the stretch provision works. But is it possible to trade Anderson for Melo? Even say that they were all right, well, you know what, we're not going to buy him out. But could we trade Anderson for Melo and then they stretch out Anderson? Even though we still swallow $28 million. But this is a hypothetical if they said, you know what, and they actually were trying to screw us over. I don't know. Is that possible?
I definitely have to look into that. So don't let me lie to you on that one.
Actually, it could be possible. And that actually could be a better idea, to be honest. Because you get rid of a 2-year contract for a 1-year contract. Carmelo's an unrestricted free agent next offseason. So you'll, in essence, have $20 million opening cap next season when Klay Thompson's a free agent, Kyrie Irving's a free agent.
Okay,
a lot of guys.
Hold on one second. Here. We got a call coming in on the sauce line here. Let me hold up. I got the wrong shit in. What's the motherfucking deal? We got calling in on the sauce line this evening.
This is Chandler. I'm just wondering is that if Carmelo Anthony decides to they do cut him or trade him or release him. So, what would be the day that he gets released? Next week or I don't know when. That's my question.
Okay, that's a bit, man. I appreciate you calling in, Chandler. That's a good question. I'm gonna hang up and answer that, man. Shout out to Chandler, man, holding it down. Always holding down something. When everybody else is afraid to stir up the sauce, man, Chandler always come through. And
even on Twitter, Chandler be holding it down.
Absolutely. So that one, it was a good question. So if they were to sign or to cut him, when does he get released? I think it's a meeting whenever they do it. So I don't know if it's going to be within the next couple of days or whatever they're trying to do with that situation. Hold on 1 second.
In essence, he could do like Dwight Howard did. When Dwight Howard knew he was getting bought out, he already made his decision like a week before that he was going to Washington Wizards, and he announced it. So, it's already guaranteed that Carmelo's coming to Houston, so we got nothing to worry about. I mean, it happened last season, so I mean.
Hold on 1 second, I'm going to cut you off. Got another call coming in here on the sauce line. Let's see who we got calling in this evening. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce? Well, I hung up and they hung up, or I answered and they hung up. So whoever that was, man, feel free to call back if you want. Okay, here we go. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in on the sauce line this evening?
What's happening, my man? It's Slayton, 26.
What's going down?
And I wanted to know how Carmelo would adapt to the switch defense that the Rockets play with it. Is it something that the offense of the opposing team would take advantage of, or how would he perform with that? I mean, it could be a positive or a negative, but I'm just kind of curious, revolving around his history of lack of defense.
Okay, good question. That's a bet. I'm hang up on you. We're gonna answer that, man. I appreciate you calling in.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right. Sorry about that. Good question, man. Good fucking question, because we do a lot of switching, and the Rockets definitely took advantage of. We use that to take advantage of Curry, and when we get Curry to switch up on us, we definitely ate off him. Would people be trying to eat on Carmelo Anthony if he was the weak link on defense? Let's start with Braylon. Braylon, what do you think about that? And then we'll go to Wise, and then I'll definitely address the topic here.
This up if he loses by another 30 pounds, but he probably want to do that at 34, 35, something like that. So okay, so let's say he's playing the 3, and for some reason he gets switched on to a power forward. He can stand down there, and he can play post defense, and he can match up with the power forwards, but for some reason, I think Jeff Bizdelic would change up on that defensive game plan because of the way that Golden State started to really recognize the switch, and then CP3 would be on Kevin Durant, and then Ryan Anderson that gets 3-6, would be doing dance and video game that used to be at the arcade when Curry. Man, that was bad, but yeah.
Just terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible enough. He probably won't be on this. Well, terrible enough. I guarantee you, he won't be on this team anymore.
Okay.
But I think he'll, if for some reason the switching is still there, then I think Carmelo will try to adapt to it and will do as good as he can, but we all know Carmelo is here for his offense. And okay, to be truthful, I'm gonna do this real quick. We switch out a player. Okay, so first off, we didn't sign a man $15+ million for this year, and we let him walk. Bad deal. According to our national media, it's a bad deal. And then but also that man went 0 for 11 in the game 7. I'm just saying. Melo won't be here for his defense. He'll be here to, score 20 points off the bench.
Okay. So You're not really even concerned about his defensive prowess. You think that he'll make up for that on the offensive end, and he'll be a somewhat capable defender. You think he'll be so-so?
Yeah, so-so.
Okay. Persuasion, how do you feel about Carmelo being a defensive liability?
I mean, I don't know about switching. That's something I haven't really thought about before. But I think he's definitely more capable than Anderson. So he might not get cooked alive like Anderson did by the Warriors, because that was something. And I'm sure he's way more capable, or at least quicker on his feet than like Nene is. And like last offseason, he looked like he was putting in work. He lost a bit of weight. I think he put it back on.
Oh man, that's bad.
But I mean, if we sign him and he's willing to put in the work, then he will be capable enough to where we don't have to change too much. But he still will be a liability to some extent.
Okay. Wise, your thoughts on Carmelo as a defensive liability in the Rocket system?
I mean, I think Jeff Bizdelic will figure it out. I think it's more of an effort thing with Carmelo, just like James Harden. It's an effort on defense. Carmelo's long. He has a long wingspan. This guy, he can possibly match up with a KD. No homo. For like real family, he all be in the homo stuff, according to Honcho.
Yes.
But
real family is a suspect individual.
But like I was saying, it's something Jeff Bizdelic can work on. I'm pretty sure. It's just the effort thing. Carmelo is tall enough. I seen him play in New York. I used to be a Carmelo fan. Even when he was with the Nuggets, he was holding dudes down in the post. So I think a position at power forward would be ideal for Carmelo, holding a bigger guy that's kind of slower. Because in essence, we do get killed by power forwards a lot. Like Anthony Davis. Every time we play Anthony Davis, this man averaging like 45 points. So it's just, if the offense is going to make up for the defense, you add 20 points with Carmelo, 20 points with Eric Gordon, at least 25 with Harden, and 20 with CP3. That's 85 points between the four of those players. So it all adds up at the end of the day.
All right. Okay. All right, we got one last text on the sauce line we'll address, and then we're going to wrap everything up. Shout out to Tito. He says, what's up, Ed? It's Tito. If we go off a trade sending Anderson to OKC and Melo coming here, who would run power forward? Also, MCW or Melton? He said that's actually two separate questions, so I don't want that to run into one. So he's asking, would you take MCW or Melton? So we'll start with Wise and work our way back.
I'll go with Melton because he's younger. He's more talented on the defensive side of the ball. From what I've been seeing in the summer league, he can actually shoot the three. MCW, I don't know. MCW is pretty good. I don't know what kind of impact he's going to make in this system. But I haven't seen really anything from MCW, to be honest. The last couple times I've seen him was being traded. He was traded from 76ers to Bulls to Milwaukee to here. I'm like, dang, what happened to the Rookie of the Year? But the guy just doesn't have a shot at all. He can't shoot threes at all. Teams can leave him open, and that's just, we don't need that in the Rockets offensive system. Okay. But I think he can make some sort of impact. And for power forward position, it's going to be my boy Uncle PJ, because PJ was holding it down, the Chuck Wagon lineup, or it's going to be Carmelo Anthony. I mean, we really don't really have no option. Ryan Anderson is gone. Vince Edwards definitely not starting at the power forward position. And I did forget about Isaiah Hartenstein. Depending on how he does in training camp this offseason, he might win a roster spot and maybe a starting position. We just got to wait and see how things go.
Okay. Persuasion, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Melton, definitely. Because I think he has more upside and is a more capable three-point shooter. But, I mean, we haven't seen that much. But from what I've seen, I would trust him more.
Okay. And breaking news, Bray.
What was the question? I forgot.
Oh, goddamn. You're too young to be having memory loss and shit. The question was, if we were to trade, basically we swapped Anderson for Melo, who would run the power forward? And the other question was MCW, Michael Carter-Williams, or Melton?
Okay, I'm gonna answer the quick one right now. It's Melton. It's obvious. It's Melton, right? Offensively, he's ready. Defensively, offensively, he looked like he may be better than him. Defensively, he possibly better than him. Take power forward spot. I'm going Isaiah Hardenstein. Dude is 7 foot, 260 plus pounds. Shoot a three. Guy has quick enough feet to guard the perimeter on switches if that's needed, and he's a rim protector. Dude's averaging like, what does he have, like 3 blocks per game in the summer league?
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, this is how we're gonna do this thing here. We're going to put a bow on it. We're gonna wrap it up. I want to say thank you to everybody who has been in the chat, been holding it down. You know, some very entertaining comments there. I'm still laughing about the Ryan Anderson looking like he popped pain pills. You know, as like I say, I just want to say thank y'all again for taking the time, because time is the one asset, like I say try to say every evening, that you can never recoup. And the fact that y'all stirring up some sauce with your boy, man, in the round table, is greatly appreciated, man, because that means a whole lot to me. I want to say thank you to Wise, White Persuasion, and Breaking News Braylon for joining in this evening. I want to say tomorrow, you guys look forward to Wink Wednesday, because it's going to be going down. We'll have plenty to talk about on several sports fronts. And you guys have anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I do want to say, watch out for the James Innes signing. I heard that it might possibly happen by tomorrow. So it might be some Rockets news tomorrow. Just stay on the lookout on Twitter and Bleacher Report. Also, I want to say a special shout out to Chandler for holding it down. Always call him to the sauce line. Y'all got to start calling to the sauce line. We want to be interactive with y'all. Don't be scared. And we ain't going to make fun of y'all. We all a family here. But thank y'all for y'all support. Y'all go follow everybody on Twitter. Y'all go like everything. We bring y'all the latest and updated news in the H-Town area. But thank y'all for y'all support. We love y'all.
Yeah. Now, there's one thing I have to capitalize on. We will make fun of whoever we call him with that old homo shit. But you will get clowned. You will be coming with that old suspect ass shit. You will get clowned. Everybody else get love. That old suspect ass shit is a no-go. Persuasion, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, I think there's a master plan in place. You know, we might have to take a year off. You know, maybe Chris Paul gets a year older. Everyone gets a year older. But then, now that Trevor Ariza's got his money, he'll sign back. Luc Ariza, he'll sign back. We'll be fine. We'll get a championship.
Okay, good deal. Breaking news, Bray. What you got to say?
I ain't got no breaking news for y'all.
Well, fine. Well,
nah, man. But thank for all the flavor and the sauce for showing love every day, every stream. Y'all the real ones. And fuck all them niggas that's on national sports media. They be hating. Them niggas say we have a bad offseason because we didn't want to pay Ariza $15+ million, because we lost on Luke because he wanted to go to the City of Angels, which is shitty as trash.
Go back.
And hey, this is whatever. You know, we the real ones. We've been holding this down for the long, for over a year or whatever. We got y'all. Pay attention and invite y'all friends to come watch the sauce. And just come invite y'all friends.
Yeah. And don't forget, we got less than 2 weeks for training camp to start, so be ready for that. We got 10 days left.
damn, look, see, I be kind of cut it off so everybody can hear clearly. So we so about, God damn it, Phoenix, fuck you and your RJ Hunter looking ass. You know, I want to say appreciate that we will be having a Kush Den here about 9 o'clock, at 9 o'clock. So like I said, a little bit less than 45 minutes or so. So make sure that you guys participate in that. We'll be talking about pocket watchers. I think it'll be a very interesting episode. I encourage you guys to participate in the den. It is a friendly conversation and community. So with that being said, we're going to chunk up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Roundtable, I want to send a special thanks to y'all. I appreciate y'all holding it down for hours some change. Sauce Nation, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. And I mean that sincerely. And with that being said, we're chunking up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And we out.